Good evening and welcome to the Intro to Fashion Business Week One's lecture. I don't have a whole lot of time. Not everyone's here yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get started on recording this in the case that y'all don't show up tonight. I do have lectures right behind this one, so I didn't want to delay on that. So let's take a look at the slideshow for this week. As always, you need to be attending the live lecture as most often as you can. It is just to your benefit to actually have some one-on-one or more than one-on-one if we've got more students engaged. It helps answer your questions. We get to discuss things more in depth and such. If you do not make the live time, you can make up the 10 points if the video or if the lecture has been recorded to video. If it hasn't, then I'm afraid you're out on the points. If it has, it's up to you to get it done by Sunday of that week. Don't forget on Thursdays to post your initial reply to the discussion forum topic for that week. You have it every single week in every single class, so be sure that you do that, and you can post to another student's post, make a reply, no later than Sunday. This is worth 25 points to your overall attendance and participation grade. The textbook in this class is Fashion Entrepreneurship, Retail Business Planning. Although this is focused on a retail business, we will make it more generic and talking about starting a fashion clothing line or other types of services and products perhaps that would be more in your interest area as a upcoming designer rather than retail. But some of the students have described that a boutique, owning their own boutique, may be what they see themselves doing further on in life. And in that case, this book is very specific and very, very applicable to planning ahead for that. All right, the topics this week, we touch on landing the job. This partly is two things that we want to take care of with it. In your program, you have an externship. That is part of the program. It is a college credit. You cannot graduate the program without it. So therefore, you do land a job for the externship. Most externships are not paid, but you're getting the experience and making contacts, networking, and putting your skills to practical use. So it's really important. The other part is that when the program is complete and you are ready to go on to a career type job in the fashion industry, you've got things in place that are already going to make that easier for you to accomplish. Branding is another topic, and building a fashion business, the business plan. So the first focus is you as the professional. You as the professional is looking at what are your goals. Maybe even if your goal is to have your own boutique or start your own clothing line, maybe you're not just quite ready to do that yet. You need to get some practice under your belt, some practical knowledge. Yes, you've got the theory. Yes, you've executed some attempts and examples of what you are capable of doing, but you need to work it in the real deal. I've heard it summed up as learning at someone else's expense for a little while too. So highly recommended you consider what kind of steps within your career will get you to the ultimate goal. So with that, you have an assignment for goals. And with the goals, you're also going to provide me some examples of some places in your local area that could be a potential company that you might get an externship with, or even a first job with. If you do a great job in an externship, you might just land yourself a job right there. But that is to start getting you ready and thinking ahead because you are nearing the end of your program. The other is a personal assessment. You can find this on page 11 in your textbook. You can record your answers right in the textbook. If you want, you can make a Xerox copy of that and fill those out and just take a picture of the completed page. There's no right or wrong to this assessment. If you just don't do it, you don't get the points. But it allows you to take a reflection on where is your skill set in the means of, is it a strong skill and that you bring to the company, or is it someplace that you need to continue working on to improve? Then the resume. The resume is really very important to start working on now. You may not have a lot of fashion-oriented experiences, jobs to put on the resume. You may have worked in a different career field. Some of those may be applicable. Some of them might just be still good to show, longevity at a company, maybe some movements within a company where you earned or gained more responsibility along the way and moving from a employee to maybe a supervisor or manager within a company. So those are also important. And then, taking a look at that, I would like for you to get that started now, because as we get closer to your externship, our career services department looks at your resume as well and really helps you fine-tune it more specific for your fashion industry. So that's really awesome. I've struggled over my career trying to do my own resume, reading books. I've never had a department right there that could give me feedback and suggestions and things. So take advantage of it while it's a benefit to you as a student here. All right, branding. Branding is not only for just your personal image, but branding is also the concept of an image for your business, and two very distinct parts of that. But they're really very important to setting you apart from thousands of others, whether it is as a employee candidate, or as you think about building a business in the fashion industry. How can you set your business apart from so many other businesses out there? So there is excuse me, some units on that. The Career Services have put together some great little videos that talk about personal branding. And then your textbook, Chapter 4, further explores this topic as it applies to a business idea. All right, so moving to some of the nitty-gritty of this class, preparing for starting your own business. Now, even though your goals in your personal assessment and resume are assigned as kind of a personal thing to get you ready for finding a job, they're as important to begin preparing now so that you will have these tools already in place when the program is complete, and they're vital accompaniments to documents for a business plan. So you'll have that. The business card assignment is also part of kind of the branding unit. But the business card, along with the business plan, business card's kind of going to be more the sort of creative fun side. What would you want a logo to be? What are you going to advertise? But before you can put that on a card, you need to start thinking about what kind of business plan you want to put together. A business plan outlines the focus and a direction for the business. The business plan is a living document that will change as the business concept gets researched and developed and new information is obtained through this process. If approached objectively, which is hard to do because we all really want to do what we want to do, and we sometimes want to ignore some of the research we find that says, that idea just can't be supported here and now. But whether there's enough money to start and sustain a business through the startup phase, it also helps to make the best use of your time and money, and whether there is a market large enough for the business to be profitable. So you really need to assess that. Part of that will be within our topics this week that help you define what your business concept is. So along with that, then you can also incorporate that into your brand as you come across this. And then moving into what the business plan is going to look like for you over the next 2.5 weeks in this program. In week 1, we're going to set out our business concept. The sections of the business plan focused on throughout the course: the executive summary, the merchandise or product plan, the management summary, brick and mortar location plan, web plan, financial plan, and operations plan. So in our week 1, we'll formulate the concept statement. Although this is just the beginning of our process, you may find that as you do your further research in all these segments for your business plan, your concept will become maybe even more defined or slightly change from what it originally was this week. And that's totally normal. Well, that covers our general overview of the topics this week. So hopefully you've got some of that information out of here. It is going to be very important that you do your readings through those chapters and also take a look at many of the articles I've included on my course connection on the lesson unit pages for each of the chapters. The articles I provide are a little more geared to a clothing line. But also think about this too. Maybe you don't want to do a clothing line. Maybe you might want to offer alteration services, maybe embroidery services. Maybe rather than a clothing line, you want to focus on making accessories, and you could further think about very specialized segment of accessories, maybe dog harnesses and pouches for them to carry their water or life jackets or something. That's a very, very defined market. Children's wear, that's another one, and such. So you're going to get to explore all this week. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at mwamigo@clarysagecollege.com. You can also find me in the office between 2 and 4:30, Monday through Thursday, and Fridays 8 to 12 in the morning. And the office number is 918-298-8200. I'm at extension 1065. You can also text me or call me on my cell phone, 918-704-4525. If it's past 9:30, I'm usually retired for the evening, and I'll get back to you the next day because the chances are I might not see that text. And if you call during Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2, I'm in the classroom, so usually I can't take those calls either. But y'all, thank you very much for tuning in. And we will finish recording. Have a good week.